Thank you for joining me. This is Mr. Pete, and we are flying our ultralight airplane here in New York City around the Statue of Liberty in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sitting here in my living room chair here, I get to fly anywhere I would like in the world. Right now, I'm going to fly underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. So hold on to your seat. Here we go. This is going to be an amazing flight because one thing we're going to do is we're going to be flying at nighttime. And we're going to be able to see the city lights of New York. And it's just absolutely amazing. And one of the nicest, most exciting places to see is Times Square. So in just a little bit, we're going to be flying right down the main street of Times Square. You can see people standing on the sidewalk getting ready to see a movie theater. You can see all the signs that are lit up there in Times Square. Now, right ahead of me is the Freedom Tower here in New York, and we're going to fly right beside it. Amazing sight to see as the sun is slowly setting in the west. And I'm not real familiar with New York, but I'm beginning to learn a few things about it. When people come into my room in AltSpace virtual reality, they see this video up on a giant video screen. And anyone that lives in and around New York, they begin to point out the different buildings and they name some of the streets. And it's just amazing to have them do that. As I fly, they point out all these landmarks of which I know very little about. But after being here, there are a few things that I've learned to recognize. And one, of course, is that we're probably all familiar with is the Empire State Building. And that happens to be right straight in front of me as the plane turns. But I guess I can't help but goof off a little bit here by doing some loop-de-loops. Right now I'm inside the plane. We're pulling back the stick, and there's a complete somersault in midair as we're flying towards our destination here. There's the Empire State Building in the middle right there, and with its point up in the air, we'll be coming close to the Empire State Building. Going to do another loop here. I hope the Aeronautical Association police don't catch me, because this is definitely illegal to do here, flying over New York City after what they went through with airplanes. So anyway, a top speed of 45 miles an hour. You can buy one of these planes for around $35,000, and just about anybody that has any kind of ability can fly one of these planes, because it's very, very simple and easy to fly. And of course, in Flight Simulator, using an Xbox controller, there's the Empire State Building. And one of the buildings I wanted to point out to you is a big round building, and let's see if you can recognize what that building is, because a lot of boxers have their boxing matches there. And Madison Square Garden, I guess that's what they call it, is right straight ahead beyond that one building. You'll see it as we get a little closer. But people that live in New York could point out almost every one of these buildings and tell you what they are. So there's Madison Square Garden. It's just down below in that round building there. You can see it right under my plane. But what I want to show you is over here, Times Square. You can see it now, begin to see it. I'm waiting for the sun to settle a little more so it's a little darker. So we're going to probably speed this up a little bit as the sun, because this actually works on time. If I stay in the sky, the clock moves just like it really would, and after about half an hour or so, it gets dark automatically because it's all timed. But here we come down. You see all these big, beautiful signs that are lit up. Many of them are animated. You can see the people down on the sidewalk. Another thing I noticed when flying here is all of the yellow taxi cabs. There are taxi cabs everywhere. Now, this may look simple and easy to do, but this is not easy to do. I've done this many times where I circle without hitting a building, flying from one street to the next. It is not that easy to do with an Xbox controller. A lot of people use the flight sim controllers like a regular airplane, but I enjoy sitting in my chair and operating, and I've gotten, for an 80-year-old guy, I've got to handle that pretty good. Now we're coming down into Times Square right now. We're going to land our airplane. There's the people on the sidewalk waiting for the movie to start. Is this the place I land? No, okay. This is just a low, close flyby. That's my ham radio call letters on the side of the wing. KD4UHY is my ham radio call. All right, so is this where I land? Nope, I guess not. I'm just gonna keep cruising and having everybody point up the sky. Look, it's a plane. It's a plane. It is. No, yeah, it's me. So anyway, I'm gonna bank around these buildings again. This I've done this many times, and I know exactly where to turn, how to turn. Right there. Now the wings, they can scrape against the buildings a little bit, but that if you get too far into the building, you will crash, and the plane falls to the ground, and you start all over. I wish life would be like that. Whenever you have some serious problem, all you do is just push a button, reset, and everything will be all right. Well, it does reset every time you pray, come to God and come to the Word of God. There's a button right there you can push, and God hears you and answers prayer, and things in your life could be straightened out. Just as easy, well, almost as easy as me pushing a button on my controller. Look at the taxi cabs sitting there waiting. Oh, taillights are all lit up, waiting for passengers. Now, I'm landing here, and I better get going before another car comes my way. Uh-oh, here comes, I missed it. Up. Oh, see, you can crash. I crashed by a taxi cab. I raised the plane up a little bit and hit the throttle, and I'm on my way. Flying in Times Square in New York City. Do you think I would ever be able to get there, go there to see that? Not in my lifetime. I did drive past New York City when we were ministering in Connecticut, but I never stopped. I kept on going towards Florida and the Carolinas. All right, we're going to make another turn here. Flying in New York City in Times Square in the Microsoft Flight Simulator and an ultralight airplane. It cost about $25,000 or $30,000 for something like this. Very easy to fly. And but I just love seeing the city lights when it gets dark here in New York throughout the entire city. In fact, I'm going to take off right here and leave Times Square, come up through the buildings here and see another vantage point of all the buildings in this big, beautiful city. All right, where are you going? Oh, you're going to turn one more time? Yeah, he is. I stop the airplane and look at some of these signs and read what they say. That orange one up is advertising The Lion King. It's on Broadway. Here we are inside the airplane. Another view, a perspective to see. All those people, they're calling the police. They're calling the Air National Guard. There's some idiot flying a plane right down our main street here in Times Square. He looks very dangerous and suspicious. But, oh well. Okay, where are you going this time? One more pass. I can't help it. I love it. I love it. Just down through the street, just as low as I can get. So, in one of these incidences, okay, here we go. Get out of there. Now we've leaving Times Square and just going between the buildings here in New York. People are in their apartments and they hear that airplane go by. They're wondering what in the world is going on. You hear that little plane in the background? You see the colored on the trees is really neat. Just amazing. You see the automobiles down below, the headlights of the cars driving down the street. You look closely down below, you can see cars moving and their headlights on their cars. At nighttime you can see there a van just went by. And at nighttime you can see the lights. It's just so cool. Here in New York City, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, people in my room in AltSpace come into my room in virtual reality, and they see this on a big giant screen. And they can see and hear me talking, hear me flying. They see everything you're seeing right now, only on a big IMAX theater type video screen. And many times I'll ask them where they live, and I'll literally fly over the area where they live, and in some cases they'll see their house and where they work, and can all see it here in virtual reality. You can see I've lost a little bit of weight there. That I had to do that in order for the plane to fly real well. Now we're looking down below New York City to see all the lights below as the sun slowly sets in the east, in the west, south, and north, in whatever direction you're flying. Everything is very realistic. And the thing is, you can just about pick anywhere in the world and you can fly there and see. You can actually land the airplane. Some of the areas are not detailed in high quality detail, but most every area is recognizable. Places where you've lived or been or visited. And the thing about it, I sit here in my easy chair and I control that airplane. So I get to fly where I want and how I want. And I have full control. And that's just like with God. I've give God me. And He has full control of me. And directing me where to go, how to go. That I'm in His will. And He shows me His will. And to the best of my ability, I go. And He controls. The Holy Spirit is with me, pulling the levers, pushing the buttons. And I love it that way. All right, I can't help it. One more dive down onto Times Square before we close this video. And this time I'm gonna try and land and see what happens here without crashing. All right, we're slowly coming down. Shut the engine off and pull back on the stick and just glide. Oh, I didn't try to miss those people. Didn't miss the pole. Oh, almost hit that taxi cab again. But there we are. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. Pete here in